one thing that you should always do as a business owner, especially when you have something very unique and personal like jewelry, start small and build your own community, build your own following, whether that be pop-up shops or trunk shows out of specific locations where you can bring in foot traffic and clientele to that particular business owner. So while you're making sales, you're also adding value for them. You build a following, you create momentum behind what you're doing, and you grow incrementally, but you don't want to move too fast and saturate your product or yourself, because then you're spread thin, and at the end of the day, if you're not covering your margins, then what are you in business for? I have some habits that have helped me become successful over the years. The first thing that I do is I center myself on something that I'm non-negotiable on, and that's my family, my faith, and my personal space. And then I divide my life into two streams. You have the business side where my income and my entrepreneurial aspirations and creativity live. And then on the other side, it's relationship driven, having a level of diversity and inclusion in my life, but also cultural connectivity to my own community and my own people. And I think that when you have those four things working for you, and if one of them fall apart and you're not kind of on an island on your own, you have three other streams working for you, and then you build up the other. And so that's a habit that I have to make sure that I have relationships and business flowing at equal streams, but more than anything, just being able to communicate and being able to relate to people. I pride myself on being able to meet somebody for the first time and at the end of the conversation feeling like we've been friends for years. So I make things personal. And so I think the habit that everybody needs to do is not try to fit in, but invite people in. And that's the most important thing. For me, knowing when it was the right time was a combination of transitioning from a life of ambition to a life of passion, but more than anything, seeing examples of others who I had congregated with, who I've broken bread with, who I've worked on other projects with, take the leap. It gave me confidence that people within my peer circle, if they could do it, I could do it. That was number one. The other thing was I know I'm employable. I know I can make a couple $100,000 in a job every year, but one thing I didn't know is could I make it in business? And so it was the challenge, it was the timing, it was my age, it was what was going on in the city in terms of opportunity, in terms of, now is the time. It just felt right. But more than anything, I embraced my fear. I let my fear fuel me. I didn't try to convince myself that I wasn't afraid. I embraced the fear and allowed it to be fuel for me to take the first step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And so there's gonna be a lot of sad nights, there's gonna be some long nights, but then you're gonna have some small victories too. And the key is keep going. So I convinced myself that it was the right time. And I literally have to talk to myself and say, it's always the right time. Now is the right time. Now, not tomorrow, now. The most important decision that I made starting out with my business was to be all in 100%. There couldn't be a backup plan or a plan B. I couldn't have one foot in and one foot out. There's no room to be lukewarm. And so what I did was I said to myself, you know what, I know I'm employable. I've had C-suite jobs, I've had very high level jobs, I've traveled around the world. The number one thing that I cannot do is let people know or think that I'm looking for a job. Be who you are, be what you're gonna be. Fake it until you make it, whatever you want to call it, but you have to put it out there and make the declaration so people know. So if you say you're a jewelry designer and you haven't designed a piece of jewelry, so what? Say you're a jewelry designer and position yourself that way. So the most important thing that I said was that I'm open for business, and that's all I'm going to do is business. I'm not taking a job. I'm not looking for jobs. I am in business full-time 100%. And lastly, I did not work from home. Do not work from home. Find somewhere to go to get away from all of the distractions and comforts of a home environment. You have to start from day one. Go to work.